Hi, everybody. Going live in 3, 2, 1. And we are live. Are we live? We're live. Awesome. Fabulous. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Trammell. I'm the creator, developer, and head coach of the Author Launchpad, Launch Your Life's Work, and the newly released Author Business School online. Let me say that again, the newly released Author Business School online. And it is a pleasure to be going live with you today right here inside of YouTube. Now, I normally go live over inside of Facebook. I go live over on LinkedIn. But today I was like, let's try it. Let's see what it looks like to go live directly into YouTube so that I could start to grow my YouTube channel. It's been a channel that I haven't been focused on. Now, why did I want to kick it off this way today? Because this is day 2 of how to generate more joy, more impact, and more revenue as an author, speaker, and expert. And one of those ways we're going to talk about are the channels in which you use, right? And the channels you use is where you're going to get to make your offers. You're going to be able to let people know about your content, your expertise. And one of the channels that I do posting on of already curated videos is on YouTube. But I don't tend to ever go live here. So I said, let's go for it. Let's do this. So if you've watched me before, you know I always say, time out, check your tech, right? You want to make sure that the audience, the audio is coming through. So I'm going to check it right now. Let's see. Yep. The audio is coming through. So I'm going to check it right now. Audio's great. I love it. Fantastic. Okay, let's let this rip and let's make sure that you get value out of being here today inside of how to generate more joy, more impact, and revenue as author, speaker, expert. I'm totally excited that I get to stream into my channel on YouTube. I think this is great. And look, for those of you wondering, watching, how do I get more eyeballs? How do I get more book sales? How do I do my marketing? This is it. Why do I do it like this? So let's back up a little bit because I want to learn about you. It's most important that I learn about you, what you do, what has you be here, where are you at in your book author journey? Maybe you've already published your book and you're trying to figure out what's next. Maybe you're in your manuscript phase. Maybe you're seasoned and you're working on your 3rd, 4th, or 5th book, but none of them have ever really gotten the traction or the revenue or brought you the joy that's available. So wherever you find yourself, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the time that you're going to give me and the attention that you're going to give me so that I could give you my best work in 50 minutes that will make a difference to you. So with that being said, who am I? Let's go back to that. I'm Chris Trammell. I am the creator and founder of the Author Launchpad, which is a program that helps authors, speakers, and experts to package, market, and monetize their expertise in 90 days. It is creating a 90-day program, what I call a revenue roadmap, taking the existing expertise out of your book, one main thing, and we're going to talk about inside of productization, one thing, take it out, break it up into 3 phases, 3 steps, right? So it fits inside of a 12-week structure. The market likes 90 days, and you have your own author revenue roadmap. That's one of the products that I create, the Author Launchpad. Number 2, launch your life's work. And we're going to talk about that in a few moments. Launch your life's work is really that aspirational, you want to be a difference-making personal brand out in the world. That's where I'm going to help you do that. I'm going to lower this just a little bit so you get to see a little bit more of me. And then 3, if you're wondering, gosh, I wish my publicist would have shown me this, my ghostwriter would have told me about it, then I invite you to join the Author Business School online, right? I've put in the foundations and the fundamentals of what you're going to need to be able to build a author expert business. There's a number of ways that you could do it, but through my mentors that I will tell you about later on in today's episode, you're going to be like, oh, great. So you've taken all those classes, distilled it down to the main ideas, so I don't have to do all those classes, so I could accelerate my time, spend less money, make more errors. You're going to make errors, but get it right faster. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. That is what the Author Business School Online is designed for. Okay, so let me back out just a hair. One more thing that I want you to know about me. Why me? So yesterday I gave an example. I'm going to make this short, and today I'm going to use books to give you some insight about me. One, I was a track and field coach for about 20 plus years. So I really learned the mechanics of coaching, creating championship athletes, creating championship teams, the mindset, the macro cycles, the micro cycles. Like, what do you got to do to show up and be able to be from day one of preseason all the way to the championship? What does those practice sessions look like? What do you need to keep being equipped with? Where's the resistance going to be in the program? Where's the championing going to be in the program, right? So to create championship teams, I had to learn how to champion others. That is one of the things that brings me joy and fulfillment, is championing others. So one, I was a track and field coach, and I was a track and field athlete. The second part of that first one is I am a 2 times Ironman. This is one of my favorite hats to wear right there. That's the M dot of the Ironman. I've completed the Ironman twice. Why do I share that with you? Because if you've ever done an extreme sport like that, you know that it takes months and months and months and months of preparation. When launch day comes for you, did you do the months and months and months and months of preparation? Right? Oftentimes we don't treat it the same way. There's a different type of urgency that we approach our book launches with, not like we do a marathon. And I promise you, if you bring that same type of mentality of, oh, I'm about to do a marathon, I'm about to do a 10K, a 5K, something that involves the physical demand that, you know, if you don't do it, you're not going to have the outcomes you want, you would alter the way that you bring your products and your processes and your methodology and yourself to stage. You would completely alter it, right? So I share that I was an Ironman triathlete and a triathlete coach as well during the past 15 years. So that covers the performance coaching. Next, number 2, curriculum writer. So I was the curriculum writer and the science department chair for the Los Angeles High School. There's a high school called the Zoo Magnet, and I got to teach there for 15 years. So I had both the classroom and I had the zoo as my field laboratory, right? So talk about creating curriculums where you had to keep people engaged, students engaged, high schoolers engaged, teenagers engaged, and make it awesome, right? So that gave me those 15 years of learning how to read very heady technical science books and make them engaging. So that's why I'm able to dive into authors' books, read through it and be like, oh, that, let's put a structure around that. This is how I would teach it. This is how I'd create a workshop, a master class around it, and then teach you, train you, guide you on how to do that from your book. So that's from being those 15 years. And prior to that, I was a wildlife educator. I've trained lions, tigers, bears, chimpanzees, spider monkeys. I love spider monkeys. I had just the road less traveled career during my 20s, and I loved it. So we could talk about that another time. Number 3, this guy was a hot mess at times in life, and I had to do some of the deep work, that transformational, that deep personal and inner spiritual development work. And inside of that, it began with the Landmark Forum through Landmark Education. I loved it. I continued to do that work. And then I moved over. I was able to find Agape. If you ever watch The Secret, there's Reverend Michael Beckwith. He's here in Los Angeles. So then I put myself into that, starting to learn more of a cosmic place that I had in this universe. I love my science, but I have a cosmic location in this universe as well. And so I dove deeper into that spiritual cosmos belonging for myself. So I bring that into my work as well. And then while there, I found Marianne Williamson. And so Marianne Williamson became a mentor of mine for about 4 years. And that was extraordinary, right? And we'll talk about A Course in Miracles in just a hint, and why that work made a difference for me there. And then the last part of why me and who am I is prior to my son starting high school, I did the marketing, sales, and branding for Nike and Under Armour and the track and field division here in Los Angeles through one of their distributors. It was awesome. I was able to learn marketing. I was able to learn sales, the co-branding, what did clients want, how to create the sales funnel, right? We often talk about marketing funnels online. Well, it looks different, but ultimately it's how do you make contact with somebody? How do you get interested in what they need? How to bring the solutions that they are looking for and then package it up at a price point that's going to make a difference to them, bring the value to them, deliver on time, be there as needed, follow up. Do you need anything else? Show up out of authenticity, not just because you're doing the work. And so I brought all that together. And inside of that, my first program I did during the pandemic, it was called Pastor 2.0. I was helping sacred space leaders move online. I had a really cool pastor. I was like, Pastor, let's move your stuff online. So my very first program was called Pastor 2.0, Successfully Taking Your Gifts and Talents Online. The things that they spoke about was my message, my calling, my mission, the reason why I do this, my purpose in life. So they really gave me right out of the gates that Maslow hierarchy of need, which is that self-actualization, that self-efficacy that we all look for. So my program after Pastor 2.0 was Launch Your Life's Work. And from Launch Your Life's Work, I used the structures of academia. I said, if that's the rocket science to be the Tony Robbins, the Gabby Bernsteins, the Brendan Burchards of this world, how do I start people? And that's the author Launchpad. So now you got a sense of me and why I do your personal brand architecture for authors, experts, and speakers who have an expertise, but they don't have a brand, they don't have an ecosystem, they don't have a suite of products. And that's where I jump in and say, okay, it's time to make revenue and not just heartbeat revenue. Because when you speak and you only get paid for speaking, it goes, I spoke, dump, I spoke, boom. If you're getting paid. If you're not getting paid, it's right? So I don't want you to have heartbeat revenue. I want you to have a steady stream of product revenue. And then I also want you to have some high ticket action in there. So you're always building your revenue. And that way you have money for marketing. You have money for yourself. You have money for your team. You have money to grow, right? To do the things that you couldn't do as an early stage entrepreneur. So today, did I give you enough? I think I gave you enough. You probably one last piece here. Qualifying. So let's talk about some of my clients. One of them real quick. This is Count Onable by Jeff Cohen. What can you be counted on for, right? We know the things that we want people to do, but is that the right thing for them to be doing? So inside of Jeff's book, Count Onable, he talks about what can I count on you for? And the employee that says, hey, count on me for this, but please don't ask me to do that because I'm not great at that. But if you keep me in this lane, I will be extraordinary for you. I'll show up on time. I'll have my engagement. I'll do what I want to do. So having people be count onable as a self-generated place, right? So we had to create a program around that. We had to create a program for leadership understanding. It's very much like Traction. If you've ever read Traction by Gino Wickman, the right person in the right seats, doing the right thing at the right time. Well, can I count on you to do that? So there's one. One of my first clients I worked with during the pandemic was Boise Thomas. How's your heart? He is a brilliant individual. This is more of a Pictionary, not Pictionary, a picture storytelling. It is fabulous. We worked on this during the pandemic. One of my next clients, longtime colleagues I got to work with, John Bates, right here, TED Worthy Leader. And he also has an itty bitty book on the TED commandments he talked about. His program used to be called Speak Like a Leader. I said, John, it's not speak like a leader. When they listen to you, when they be with you, when you coach them, what they're looking for is how to live like a leader. We all want to live like a leader. We speak as an expression, but living is what we want. So I helped him redesign that program. I brought him Live Like a Leader, and now his brand, his forward-facing speak mission and promises to live like a leader, and you speak and you lead and you're in the boardroom. But it really is, from stage to life and back again. What is the totality, that wholeness that a leader gets to be? And that's John Bates, another mentor and colleague of mine that I got to help with his book, Dr. Melvin Allen and Sherry Allen. I was part of the actual study group that they were writing this book about, and then I'd give my feedback on how they would write about it. I'm like, that's not quite it. Let's shape it this way. So I got to be on the inside of this book so that they were able to bring forward as a relationship couple, coaching couple. They're fabulous. They call themselves relationship alchemists. And then, of course, there's David Cunningham, a transformational leader for over 3 decades. Your Love Does Matter. Just a fabulous human being that has led to almost 500,000 people around the world. And once he completed leading for his organization, he says, I've got something that I want to share. Can you help me write my book? I said, absolutely. Let's go for it. So inside of doing that, we've created the book. We have the programs. You might have heard about him in his Love Goes to the Capital efforts, the books that he sent to Congress. So to whatever extent you're willing to play, I'm willing to meet you and match you there, right? Not everybody is going to go aspirational to have love be the preeminent way of being on the planet. That's your choice. That's your opportunity. But what I want you to know is that there is something for you inside of your books, inside of your expertise, is that opportunity. And if you don't productize it and monetize it the right way, you're always going to feel that sense of struggle. And it happens to all of us. So I'm here to help you interrupt that today. Okay, so there we go. Let's talk about that. Here's my notes from yesterday. Look, being that we're on YouTube today, I'm going to make sure down in the show notes, you have the worksheet that goes with day 1. I will put this on a replay page. I'll also put that replay page down below so that you're able to get all 3 days. Tomorrow, I go live at 10 a.m. Pacific time here. I live in Long Beach, California. If you're ever down in Long Beach, California, please come meet me. Let's go have coffee. Tell me all about what you're doing. I'd love to connect with you. And you'll find then the notes right there for you. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and jump into day 2. Monetize and productize your expertise. The opportunity is to stop doing this. I wrote a book. Do it for me. I wrote a book. Market it for me. I wrote a book. What do I do? I get it. I get that's where you're at and what it feels like. And you built the muscles of a writer. You built the muscles of more introvert than extrovert. Now, you might be extrovert, okay? I'm a classic ENFP when I do the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities test. When I do Clifton Strengths, which is one of the things that we will study for you, because I build a lot of my work off of what your strengths are. I am individualization, number 1. Strategy, number 2. Woo, number 3. Okay, so as we're looking at what your design is, we want to build towards your personality type 2. So as I lead you into today's conversation about all the different ways that we could build products, and your content is a type of product. It's just free. When you go to Costco and you take a sample, that's a product. That is a sample of a product. It is a part of a product, right? So free content like this today on the web is free. So you have to look at your product, your suite of products, not SWEET, SUITE, your suite of products, and make them sweet. SWEETT. You want people to be like, God, that's so good. Make your suite of products sweet. Have people love them. Have them want more. If you're not sure, you could look at mine. I invite you to look at mine, but I'll tell you who I like to follow. Kelly Roach, one of my mentors. Absolutely follow her. Alex Hermosi. Absolutely follow Alex Hermosi. Brendan Burchard, another one of my mentors. He's one of my coaches. Tony Robbins, I already told you about that. You want to go where the trust building offers, the free, you want to go to where the free content is that moves people up the trust level to where they are ready to then get your first appetizer product, your trust building product. That's why they give you the free samples at Trader Joe's and different places and in the malls so that you then go and buy, right? That's how they do it. So we're going to talk about creating a suite of products. Now, look, there's some really, really extraordinary, fabulous, strictly course developers and builders out there. And I'm happy. Like I'll just say it right now. I love her. I think her work is awesome. If you just want to do a course and you're like, Chris, I don't have any interest in interacting with people and coaching people. I just want to get my course up first. Sunny Lenarduzzi. Absolutely. I follow her. I look at her genius. I'm like, she's awesome. But if you want that program, if you want the totality of an ecosystem, then I'm going to invite you to take a look at what we're going to talk about today and have that be one of your offers. But if you really want to be with people and cause that level of transformation, then you're going to have to get in there with them. And that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, yesterday, what did we talk about yesterday? If you were here, we talked about the future author. What does the future author need to be able to do? And what I said the future author needs to be able to do is 3 plus 1, right? 4 core things, 3 plus 1. One, you got to have great content. You just got to have great content, and you got to be somewhat prolific with that content. Look, it's not easy being prolific with content, but you got to show up. You got to be as consistent as you can, one a day. And I know that's hard for some of you because it's been hard for me at times. So you got to get an accountability buddy or someone else in your writing group or author group and be like, hey, every day we're going to post. Every day everybody's going to show up at 1 o'clock and we're going to just take 15 minutes and we're all going to post something. To 1 a day consistency, great content. 2, the future author. So what does the future author have to do? 2 is you're going to have to be able to coach. You can't just write content anymore and be like, I wrote a book. Go read my book. I was talking to one of my clients and I have to keep moving this person from head to heart. It's one of the hardest things to do with the really smart persons is move them from head to heart. And this person, my client, was describing how someone else asked him about something. And my client's response was, I told him to go read my book. No, tell me when. I'm sure it might have happened once or twice, but between kindergarten to graduating high school, that our teachers ever just said, read the book, and said nothing else after that. Now, they might have got pissed and said, read the book, because we weren't doing the homework, right? Or they wanted us to read the book. But we had to read it and then take that information and implement it, whether it was lab, whether it was homework, whether it was practice, it was exams, whatever. You can't just say, read the book. You've got to be able to coach what you want them to take from that book. That's what's next. So coaching, the future author we talked about yesterday's coaching. 3, what was 3? Oh yeah, community. Almost forgot. Look, a lot of people are like, can I just build a membership? Can I just build a membership? I just want a book club. Yes, you can, but you got to show up now because there's so much information. AI is going to, I don't want to say kill us, but it's going to numb us. It's going to anesthetize us. You have to show up and be a champion in that community and be a content delivery person in that community. And 4, you have to have a context for them. What is your context? One of the things that I talked about inside of context is, start with why. Do you know the why of your clients? Do you know your why? So if I ask you, why are you doing this? Do you have a clear, crisp, mission-driven why you're doing this? Why are we going to create products? And why are we going to monetize it if you don't know why? Is there a philanthropy? Are you going to go create a scholarship in your name at your high school or something? Remember, elevates the world, does harm to no one, leaves the world a better place. Those are my 3 rules for your philanthropy and the actions that you take in this world. Elevates the world, harms no one, and leaves the world a better place. I think if you focus something inside of that mission, or you check those 3 boxes as your mission, you're going to be in a pretty great space. And then the last thing I want to share is, inside of my work, one of the books, look, I'll tell you right now, as we productize and monetize, I'm going to look, what are you solving? Is it solution or is it transformation you're giving people? They're different. Don't be confused. Solution, I have a problem. Let me show you how to solve that problem. Great. Transformation, this is how I used to be. This is how I am in the world now. I've went from caterpillar to monarch butterfly. Transformation. We often use the word solution, transformation interchangeably. They're not. I like to look for, can I find your work that already exists out in the sacred text? Because if I could find where your work has already been said before, because it's very difficult these days to say something that hasn't been said already. But if I could find that you are close to what the great scriptures and the great avatars around the world, not just anyone, have said, that matters and has life be that much more joyful, fulfilling, peace-filled, graceful, difference-making, then I know you're on the right track. Here's one that I like to use. This is from the Bhagavad Gita. It's right here in chapter 3. It says, it is better to strive in one's own dharma than to succeed in the dharma of another. One more time. It is better to strive in one's own dharma than to succeed in the dharma of another. You have to do you. That's that, right? That's the old do you, boo. So when you're creating your products and you're creating, like, how do I create this? How would you create it? How do you want to teach it? It has to be authentic to you. Look, I've downloaded all the PDFs as well. I got folders of PDFs. I have reversed engineered Tony, Marianne, Gabby, Sunny. I've looked at all their stuff. I've reversed it. And I still have to show up like this and do my cosmic journey and all that information inside of my cosmic container. Now, I'm an evolutionary biologist. I will talk science and I'll talk evolution with you all day long. But when it comes to your role in productization and monetization, it has to be you. It must be what gives you joy. It must be what gives you fulfillment, because you'll know, because your clients will start to experience joy and fulfillment if you have the solutions in there and you have the energy in there and the difference making is there as well. Because if you're just driving from the head, you'll burn people out. But if you give them a context that they could do the work and keep elevating and refining their work so it gets better over time, the context will grow with them. But hard work over time goes like this, and then it nosedives. So as we talk about productization, I really want you to be like, okay, I got it, Chris. You're pounding it in. It is context. Why? What fuels people? And if that's what fuels them, then I got to make sure it's inside of my product. So here we go. Let's start giving you the goods, because that's what you came for. So the top 5 revenue models that I recommend are: 1, coaching and consulting. You got to go get it. Go get a coaching, or at least 3 right out of the gates. If you don't have them yet, I want you to go get 3 right now. Minimum $2,500. If you got to start at $1,000, start at $1,000. Tell them, you know what? I normally start at $2,500, but I like you. I like this opportunity. I love to be able to make a difference for you. Where do you need to start at? And you work with it, right? You get the testimonial out of it. You get the difference making out of it. You get to learn from it. So coaching and or consulting are the #1 models. But there's only so much one-to-one that you're going to be able to do. So we're going to talk about scaling tomorrow, but there's a limit on that, right? Like you could really only, we'll figure that out. I don't want to dive deep into that one just yet. So coaching and consulting. And remember, coaching is guiding and supporting persons to make their own change, to have their own awareness. Consulting, you should be doing this. Here's your answer. Here's the process. Here's what's missing. Go do this. So consulting, more prescriptive, right? Like, hey, you got to do this. Coaching, guiding, prescriptive. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Having people on their own discovery is what's going to have that lasting power there. Showing them their own ahas, right? Consulting, they want the ahas, but they just want to stop bleeding out their neck. And shout out to Frank Kern, if you know the marketer that talks about like, what's their bleeding neck problem? Solve that first. 2, go get a corporate offer, please, as quickly as you can. What is your corporate offer? Draw wherever you live on a map, you draw a 5-mile circle and you say, who in this 5-mile radius can I go offer my corporate offer to? And you go after that, and you go after that, and you go after that, and you say, I've got a lunch and learn. I come in for 90 minutes. This is what we do. I'd love to be able to test it on you. Well, how much is that? It's $1,500. Wow, that's a lot for 90 minutes. Well, how many people in your office? We only got 5 people in our office. Okay, great. So how about this? $1,000 and I'll bring in lunch. And then go to Subway. Go to, it doesn't have to be Subway. Go somewhere. Go get it catered. Bring it in. Deliver great information. You fed them and you fed their minds and you made a difference and you got testimonials. Right? So have a corporate offer. I'm not saying that's the only one, but I'm telling you, you could have the lunch and learn. You could have the VIP day. You could have the strategy day. You could have the executive team immersion, but you got to come up with something for your corporate offer. All right. Group programs. So you heard me talk about the Author Launchpad earlier. I was a teacher. You got to be able to teach one-to-many. That's where we go back to that one-to-one thing, right? I want you to be able to focus and to be able to be great at a one-to-many model. When you could go one-to-many, you could show up on Mondays with the content, on Wednesdays with the implementation, on Fridays with the review session. 3 hours plus your other 3 hours of preparing for those, and maybe an office hour. So altogether, that's 7 hours. Okay, 7 hours. But if you got 25 people, you've now served 25 people in 7 hours. And let's say those 25 people are each paying you. We'll start off with $395, something friendly, right? So we'll call it 400. 25 times 400. Hey, that's not, or 25, 200, 400, 25, 400. I'm about to mess up my own math, but that's $1,000. It's more than $1,000, right? $10,000. Hang on. Alexa, what is 25 times $400? At 10,000. I had a moment. Okay, I had a moment. I had my moment. $10,000 a month because you brought people into a one-to-many program. How great would it be? Even if you only got 10, that's $4,000. It's probably $4,000 more than you're earning in a group setting program right now. So group programs, retreats and intensives. I just designed a retreat. We did it in April. It was in China. It was awesome, right? We've got other events coming up this year. I'm designing a retreat in Bali. So if you're a retreat person, you're like, Chris, I like retreats. I like the intimacy. I like the cultural immersion. Great. So let's design retreats and then go find those persons. But here's the thing. Also have a corporate offer of your retreat. Don't just go sharpshooting for the individuals. It's tough. It's a tough go until you got the momentum of it. Make sure there's a corporate aspect for the leadership so they could fill your retreats as well. And then last, we get to the online course. I want to build a course. I want to have a course. I want to just to set it and forget it. Yes, absolutely. But there has to be some learning that before you go into the course that you got to put in, because if not, you're building in a silo. And if you're building in a silo, it's only built on what you think they need. The R&D, really that the languaging comes from what they're saying inside of your practice programs, inside of your practice workshops and seminars. Then build the course. Okay. So you don't just jump into building a course. It's one of the things that I see when I see just like, hey, let me build your course. Now, if you've done that work, okay, great. Then go build a course. Hire me, hire Sunny, hire somebody. Uh, we'll build your course. But if you haven't done that work, you want to do that while starting to design the course, but please don't let it leave the station. Okay, so those are the top 5. Let's go ahead and talk about some secondary 5 expansion opportunities. So 1, memberships. As an author, we used to think of book clubs, right? Consider your book club is now going to be more of a membership and really more of a community. I don't want you just to talk about the book anymore. That's just the space of feels. I want you to talk about the difference that the book can make. Or now, look, I'm talking to the nonfiction crew. I don't know what to do with love stories and zombies and vampires and sci-fi unless it's George Lucas or J.K. Rowling, and there's a lot of life lessons already built into your book. So I'm not talking to that group. Okay, but you can have memberships around that, right? Just think about all the cons you see out there in the world: Comic-Con, Anime Con, Horror Film Con, right? All these different conventions around niches. So you can build a membership around that niche and show up and market that niche, and then show up and let people share about that niche and take something away. And what they take away is belonging. What they take away is community. What they take away is being seen, being heard. That's why you create the memberships in the community, to move them forward and to have them know that there's a place for them. Masterminds. A lot of people love masterminds. Yeah, absolutely. Do a mastermind. Get a bunch of smart people together. Be the hub. Make sure you got great questions that inspires new thinking, that inspires innovation, that also talks about the implementation, talks about the timeline that it's going to take for that to exist in this world. What's it going to take structurally for that to exist in this world? Go develop a mastermind. Put a price tag on it. Hey, I'm going to develop a mastermind for authors who want to really grow and scale their expertise in 2026. If you're interested, come be here with me, and we're going to create just the most amazing program out there. So I just spoke a mastermind to my colleagues, right? It wouldn't make sense for you, but inside of your expertise, there are other experts like you that you could create a 2-person, 3-person mastermind, and you guys could revenue share. 3 people, right? Many hands makes for light work. So maybe that's one way you create a mastermind. Evergreen programs, essentially it's the days of the webinar where we would click in and then they'd talk at us for 45 minutes. They still work. They still work. But they don't convert high. They don't tend to convert high ticket. You got to have been doing this for a while. You have to have a sense of mastery to be doing this for a while, right? And those persons that have dialed that in and they have the money to throw behind the marketing, the ad spend, the paid traffic can still make those evergreen programs work. But I don't know the early stage author, speaker, expert that has been able to master an evergreen product. It is available, but I don't recommend it out of the gates. Books to courses, that's absolutely what I do. So a course could be a seminar, it could be a 5-night workshop, a 1-day seminar, a 5-night workshop, it could be a 1-day intensive. And ultimately, I am an advocate for signature programs. I want you to have your own signature program because look, transformation happens in conversation, going through the practices of eliminating what gets in our way inside of the area that we want to have a difference in. You could build all of your stuff on what I just said right there. I don't care what you're working on. 1, you got to get out of the way what gets in their way. So that's the first part of it. 2, where have they been stuck because of their own limiting beliefs? Where have they been stuck because of their own limiting beliefs? So you get out of the way of the actions, you get out of the way of the mindset. You start to put in new ways of being, new actions to take that starts to create a new possibility in this world. Then you have them start to declare it. You have them start to structure it. You have them start to put pen to paper on what that new future is. And that's the future that they leave you creating and building in this world. And then you do the follow-ups to that, right? So that's the transformative signature program that you could create. And if you don't want to do transformation or that's not your jam, that's okay too. But create a signature program that's either a full day Saturday and a full day Sunday, or it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because if you really want the impact that ignites people in this world, then I'm telling you, anything in less than 48 hours, I haven't seen it. And I've done a lot. But less than 48, it is tough for the not decades trained person to be able to do that. Okay? So if you want to create that signature program, I'm all in with you on doing that. But it's going to take us some deep work so that you could lead from the stage and do the deep work with others. And that is truly a level of personal transformation that only comes from architecting a brilliant, beautiful personal brand yourself. So those are 10 different productization pathways to help you start to monetize. Again, what I just want to go back. One, start one-to-one. I need you to get out there. I need you to start practicing. I need you to get some clients under your belt. And I need you to have a process. So let's talk about the process one more time. I love my chocolate chip cookies. I absolutely love me some chocolate chip cookies. Now, I'm not a Keebler soft batch kind of cookie guy. I like them a little bit crunchy. So I look for that type of cookie. Now, why am I mentioning that? Because I know that wherever I buy Famous Amos out in the world, that same recipe puts the same type of cookies in that bag everywhere I go. Your process, your model must be repeatable, and it has to be simple. Step one, do this. Step two, do this. Step three, do this. Let's check and verify you have done these 3 steps before you go on to phase 2, step 1. And then you do phase 2, step 1, step 2, step 3. Check and verify. Don't pass go. Great. Then you go to phase 3, step 1. Step 2, and you graduate them at step 3. They should have the solution in place. They should be able to do exactly what you said that they should be able to do. That is what creating a really great brand process that leads to your promise allows them to do. Now, look, some people want to be fabulous on stage. That's their world, right? Like, Chris, I want to be on stage. I want to be masterful. I want to just rock arenas. Great. Have you spoken yet? No. Okay. Then to get there, let's just master a 7-minute talk, an origin story to expertise talk. That's what I look for. That's what I have all my clients do. I need you to be able to speak an origin to expertise talk. How did you start? How did it help you deliver what you're doing? And why does delivering what you're doing make a difference in this world? That's one of my products, right? It's one of my skill sets. So I need you to think about, okay, what's my model? What's my phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? Do I have it? Oh, I have it over here. So when I'm out and I'm teaching somewhere, I know it's printed out. I'll show it a little bit closer. The author, Launchpad, revenue roadmap. I'll even include this. Click on the link below so you don't strain your eyes looking at this, but you can see phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I've got it in the phases. I'm able to deliver it over 90 days, 12 weeks. You have to have that. You have to practice your process, because if not, you're going to keep going from opinion. You're going to go from feel, and opinion and feel are not scalable. They're talkable, but they're not financially scalable. They're not revenue scalable. And we're talking about revenue for you so that you can have sustainability, so you can be a philanthropist, so you can do the things for your family that matter. Go back to that context, right? You're like, but I don't want. Well, then, all right, don't get that home, don't get that car, don't take care of parents, don't do this thing for your children that you said you wanted to do. How bad do you want to do it? Great, then do the work. Because inside of productization and monetization, one of the things that gets missed is organization. You must organize yourself like you've never organized yourself before. And then you've got to organize your clients because they're already doing all this other stuff in the world. And they don't put in sufficient structures to stop doing the other nonsense that they've done. And they buy your stuff and then they try and add it to what they're already doing. And those structures are insufficient because if they were sufficient, they wouldn't be buying your product. They'd be further down the road. So monetization is a function of productization and organization. And that goes back to coaching. You got to coach them. You got to ask them, are you making your calls daily? Are you structuring CEO time? Are you structuring marketing time? Are you structuring sales time, consult time? If I build you a marketing funnel, but you're not putting it out in front of people on the DMs, and you're not putting it out there and doing the muscle because you don't have the $1,000 a month that the ad guys want you to spend, it's up to you. And if it's up to you, then it's organization, 100%, discipline. So monetization has to be productization, organization. You can't just come looking for it. What do I build? What do I build? What do I build? You got to organize yourself around that. Because what stands between you and the life you want, I promise, has some level of discipline, performance, and organization, which we describe that as like consistency. We describe it as confidence. We describe it as competency. Like all those words are part of the performance of it, the discipline of it, the organization of it. So as you leave today, I want you to walk away with, okay, Chris, I got it. You beat it into my head. What is my 10-mile radius, 5-mile radius, even tighter, that I'm going to go into my neighborhood, my backyard, wherever there's a larger metropolitan city and start making offers? So that's my corporate offer. Okay, now, who's best for my one-to-one offer so I can start bringing in some revenue and getting some excitement and some practice going? Okay, got it. I got that too. So I've got some money coming in. Oh, wow, this is money coming in. Now I got to refine it and I got to get good on delivering it because I can't try and scale this if I don't know how to deliver it. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about systems. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about scale, right? Because we all run into that. We all run into that. And if you go straight to turn the dials, which is what the dial turners are, I call the online paid marketers dial turners, because ultimately they are. They're just turning the dial on visibility and the number of people coming to you. And that turning of the dial, the muscle of that is money. And if you're going to start spending money to turn those dials, and here comes people, but you don't have the systems, you don't have the mindset, you don't have a context on how to support all of that. And then you'd be like, I wasn't good enough. My program wasn't good enough. No, you just went too fast. You just went too fast. It has nothing to do. It might have a little bit to do with you, and we'll get that resolved, right? What do we got to get out of the way so that your greatness can show up? What do we got to get out of the way of your clients so that your greatness can be implemented in their life? Those are the things that are needed inside of really creating products that make a difference. Start with your appetizer offer. What is that appetizer offer? Let me go to my notes as we land this plane here. Again, I'm going to put all this down below so that you're able to do the work of this. Please download that, and so I can support you there. I'll just generate right here. So again, you got to show up. You got to get interested in people. You got to make offers. You got to ask for the sale. And how are you going to do that again? Your appetizer offer. Something that gets them a win, something that allows them to work with you. Your entree. Here's the next thing I have. Wow, that was really good. That was cool. Trust building offer. That was really cool. Can you help me do this? Yeah, sure. In fact, that's what my entree is built off of. Oh, let's do that. Wow, that was so good. I loved that 90-day experience with you. I'd like to keep working with you. Welcome to my suite of products. Welcome. That's how you create that world, but you can't go suite of products if you don't have an initial appetizer trust building offer. And then, oh, can you help me create revenue from my book? Yeah, sure. Or whatever you're going to do. Help them lose weight, help them run faster, help them be better with their kids, whatever it is. Yeah, I've got a 90-day program for that. Awesome. Let's do it. If you work from those three spaces first, appetizer, entree, then suite of products, make offers, daily action, make offers, ask for the sale. If you do that on the regular, monetization is the natural occurrence, the natural outcome of your productization. But monetization is a nice word, but if you are not taking actions, the money will not flow. Unless you have a lot of money to just throw at the ad guys already and just throw your hands back and let that do the work for you. If you got that, more power to you. Let's talk. I've got 2 colleagues that we will dial your program in just like that. We will write it and we will put money behind it and we will blow it out of the water. But for the rest of the humans out there, the rest of us doing it differently. Appetizer, entree, suite of products. Make offers, show up daily, ask for the sale. That's what I got for you. Fundamentals. And if fundamentals matter to you, then I invite you to participate inside of the Author Business School online, where we teach those fundamentals over and over and over so that you can be masterful and get to that place of great ad spend and then take off like a rocket ship. But once you have the systems and the processes in place, and that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So thank you for watching this live on YouTube. I love it. I am fulfilled by that. And again, I will clean this up. You'll get all the worksheets down below. I'll give you the author revenue roadmap down below. And if you need anything from me, you can find me at www.christrammellcoaching.com, or you could go to theauthorbusinessschoolonline.com. Find me there. You'll find my links down below. And just my final invitation is go be great and shine your light. And that's the mission I give to you to give to others. Go be great and shine your light. And I think if we do that, we will do our jobs as leaders, as difference makers, as change agents that have an expertise, that have life experience, and have an education that we bring all together to serve others inside of this whole new knowledge economy. So with that being said, go be great, go shine your light. I'll see you next time. Bye for now. See ya.